What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. As you know, I'm your host with the most, Brandon Goggins, here with another episode for you guys today. Before we talk about anything that went on tonight, please consider liking this video and subscribing, even if it goes against your will due to tonight's result. Don't let it corrupt your mood. Still, what I'm saying, join Clip Gang or don't bang. I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day. But doing that would would be greatly appreciated. I hope that everybody's doing as well as they can. Obviously, I know that mood probably isn't in the best space for a lot of people. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna talk about the game, the implications it had, walk through it, and yeah. I mean, to be honest, there's enough of my rambling. We can get straight into business here. We dropped the game against the Warriors. Exactly what I felt like could happen did happen. It started off as a promising game for us. The first half was really decent, especially that second quarter. We executed offensively and defensively for the most part, outside of a few slip ups. But we still, kept our wits about us, and we still had it in there. Our hustle was there, intensity was there, and I liked what I saw early on. But unfortunately, what I was scared of happened, and we did not carry that over into the second half, and that's where it all blew up right in front of our faces. So I kind of want to walk through quarter by quarter. That's kind of how we're going to do things here. Just talk quarter by quarter how things kind of panned out during the game. I'm actively taking notes during the game, pointing out what I see in the quarters. So I just want to keep that consistent with what I see. So let's talk about how we went from riding high to saying goodbye, so to speak. Starting with the first quarter. Well, first of all, we started James Harden, Bogey, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., and Big Zoo. They even did that little Sunday Night Football intro where each starter said their name in college, or in Zubats and Bogey's case, their home country. We had Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State. I was like, okay, bro. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty dope. NBA on NBC is a pretty dope production all around. At least I think so. It's a shame that we were not able to deliver on NBA NBC. We have the primetime slot, so to speak. One of two games that were televised today, and we did not deliver. Crazy enough, like I talked about in the starting lineup, Chris Dunn did not get the start in Bradley Beal's absence like I expected, even though I thought that he very well should have and could have. We'll get to that. The Warriors, they started Steph, of course, Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Quentin Post at the five. And that was a lineup that was rolling for them, honestly. Look, man, the game started. Zubats, bro. I love Zubats, and I'm about to praise him a lot in this video. But please, Ivica Zubats, if you're hearing this, which I know you're not, please, please stop doing that weak ass post hook fade, bro. It don't work. It's different. You get what I'm saying? Like, he can do a post hook, you can do a post fade, but when you combine the two, how many times has it worked this season? I can't remember when it has. Maybe I missed some points where it did, but bro, it just. I get that he might have worked on that specific move all offseason, but if it ain't working consistently, fries in the bag, bro. Put it back in the toolbox for now. And, we continue to work on it behind the scenes, which he probably still is doing. But until I don't know. I guess the only way to get better at it is if you are literally trying it in game. But, I don't know, bro. It's not working for me. Bogey is still struggling as well. He hasn't found his rhythm too much. So nothing has really been falling for him. He did finally score in the fourth quarter with garbage minutes. So, at least he saw the ball go through the hoop. But it just ain't, I don't know. He ain't looked like the Bogey that, we know. And that kind of scares me for him because he's one of the names that's like on the on the hot seat when we talk about assets that could be moved around as we approach the trade deadline. We got some time until then, so he got some time to get his groove in, figure things out, and see what he can do. But I would tread lightly if I were him. Defensively, we looked pretty flat early on. At least in the first quarter, we did. We allowed too many backdoor cuts. We were leaving guys open. Just a lack of effort overall. But we were down 9 after one, and you could tell that the energy was there in a sense, but the execution wasn't. Like, it was just very sloppy. But that's when the second quarter started. The Warriors came into the second up, but this is where we started to find our groove a little bit. We got to see a lineup that a lot of people have been asking for, and a lot of people suspected to be the starting lineup for the season. Chris Paul, James Harden, Kawhi, John Collins, and Ivica Zubac at the five. And that group, they looked pretty good early. Kawhi had him a little tough and one, and John Collins continued to show why he's been such a huge pickup, cleaning the glass on both ends of the floor. He was really hustling today. But rebounding still seemed to be a problem at one point. The Warriors are a small team, but because they're a small team, they have to crash hard. They don't have a choice, so they already have it in their mind that they're finding the closest man and boxing them out. And that's something that we, let them do a lot of times. And I was just trying to figure out why. I was like, we are outmatching them as far as size, but they are getting a lot of boards over us. And I don't really get that. And we had too many possessions where guys were just like standing around, I guess just assuming that Zubac would clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did it all last season. He can just do it again. No, we need to have 4 guys crashing minimum, and then 1 gets back. That's like basic basketball right there. I don't know what Ty Lue is telling them. He may be telling them differently, and if so, listen to coach. But I think he needs to take note of that as well. Like, if we're getting beat on boards, maybe we should have people, crash and actually try to get a rebound. Offensively, Harden kept us afloat. He's been elite at drawing fouls this year, and he went 7 for 7 from the line before halftime. And that is the Beard we know in the second quarter. He had 20 points in the first half and led a 19-4 run that brought us all the way back. We were down at 15 at one point, and then we tied it at 44 with under 3 minutes to go in the half. And then one of my favorite moments of the night, after Curry missed a shot, commentator said, Chris Dunn has really been a pest on Curry this game. And I was like, yes! Music to my ears. That's exactly what I said needed to happen yesterday. And to his credit, he was locked in. We ended the quarter on a 24-6 run to take a 3-point lead at halftime, and it looked like we found the formula. We did not find the formula. Had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. The third started out fine, and everything crashed pretty much. First play out of the half, Kawhi drive, spin, fade, bucket, classic. You know what I'm saying? Everything we talked about that type of bucket from Kawhi. We know he's capable of doing it. We know that's his bread and butter. He's good for it. Both teams were looking pretty locked in defensively. Nobody even hit 50 points until Kawhi scored that shot. Zubac, he started to get going, back-to-back buckets. But then that's where it all just, I don't know what happened. It just unraveled in front of our faces. We got sloppy. Steph hit a couple quick ones, got to the line, and whenever he start doing that, that's when you can start to feel the momentum shift in the game. He's one of those players that's going to get the crowd hype. He's going to get other players hype, and you can start to feel that energy. So that's why I be emphasizing we need to stop him and not let him get any type of breathing room, because that can change the entire trajectory of the game, which it did. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler, after Steph does that thing, he comes down, throws a dunk, gets the crowd hype, and then Kuminga follows it up with a fast break jam. And the next thing you know, they're on a 9-0 run, and then Ty Lue is calling timeout. And unfortunately, that timeout didn't do anything. because this is where the game turned for quite literally the worst. We started rushing everything, dude. Everything, bro. I always say a rush shot is damn near the same as a turnover. You might as well call it a turnover. When you play the Warriors, you cannot match their pace unless you're in control. And that goes for any type of, you know what I'm saying, smaller team that likes to run a quick offense or a quick defense. When you let them speed you up, you're done. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer playing your style of game. You're playing theirs. And that's how they get you. The Harden and Zubats pick and roll was working beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Harden penetrates, draws. He draws help. Zoo's in position for second chance point. You know what I'm saying? Even if Harden misses the floater if he goes up with a shot. But even that couldn't save us. You know what I'm saying? Warriors went on a 17-4 run, and then that's when Lou pulled Harden, Kawhi, and Zubats all at once. And I get that they needed rest, you know what I'm saying, in hopes of a fourth quarter comeback. But that's who was carrying the offense. I was kind of confused, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that they're not producing how we needed them to. Not Kawhi, James Harden didn't score that quarter. But I was like, I feel like there still needs to be a chance because the next unit came in, the unit that I've been praising this whole year, they came in and it just completely fell apart, bro. Turnovers, bad shots, no flow, no composure, no nothing. We got outscored 32-14 in the third quarter. 32-14 is crazy work. We outscored them, I think, 24-13 in the second. So yeah, we held them to the 13, which is a point less than we scored in this quarter. But they also scored 9 more than we did. You know what I'm saying? That's where that comes into play. You can't survive that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we were pretty consistent when it came to that. The fourth quarter pretty much started the same way how we ended the third. Sloppy. The Warriors defense, they were swarming. They were getting all in our heads. We looked completely lost. Camera panned to Steve Ballmer, and I was like, oh, man, like, we got to show some type of run if Big Ballmer's in the building. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even a home game, and he still popped out. And, you know, granted, it's probably not that big of a, you know, deal for him to be there, given the proximity from LA to San Francisco, and also given his bank account. Not trying to pocket watch or anything, but, you know, it probably wasn't nothing for him to pop out to the game. But I'm saying, even he couldn't save us. Warriors kept on hitting from three, and to be quite frank, we just didn't. Harden was scoreless the entire second half. That 20-point performance that he put on in the first half. Beautiful. Nothing to show for it on the second end. And the Warriors, like, just locked him up. And I was like, where is James Harden the whole time? Meanwhile, they sat Steph for the first 6 minutes of the fourth, and they still extended the lead. They ain't even got their main guy on the court. Their bench is doing us wrong. We got our main guys out there, and we still looking sloppy. What we doing? Jimmy Butler, he was out there with their second unit, scoring, facilitating, making plays. We just looked like a bunch of dummies out there, and it was pitiful, to be quite honest with you. It was pretty bad. Steph eventually came back in, and this is pretty much when I knew it was chopped. He came in, hit a step back on Chris Dunn. Yeah, the one that was allegedly being a pest earlier this game. And that stretched the lead to 23, and yeah, that was pretty much that. Ty Lue, he finally waved the white flag, subbed out the main guys, and let the bench close it out. Obviously, Kobe Sanders, Kobe Brown, John Collins, YKN, and Bogey. They finished the game just trying to salvage the minutes. Warriors took last season's sweep personal, and this was their form of payback. We're going to see them again, and hopefully next time we're the ones taking it personal. You get what I'm saying? Like, we can't just let them get off on us like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going to say walk in their trap, take over their trap, but they stood on business in their trap. You know? I will say, even though that we lost, I'm not panicking. I still do think that we will be fine. The Warriors are a good basketball team. I don't expect us to crumble like that every game, but hopefully this was a type of wake-up call. The Warriors are a very familiar foe, and we should have known better. They are a second half team, and they're going to come out guns blazing every second half. I said it yesterday. If we let up even a smidge, take our foot off their neck, even a smidge, they going to make us pay. And that's exactly what they did. You know, we can't just play one half of good basketball. We have to be disciplined all 4 quarters. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Brooke Lopez get on their ass. You know what I'm saying? How we talking about in the other episode, last episode, how he's usually the fun guy, but when it means business, you know what I'm saying, he's standing on that. Yeah, we need a lot of that, especially as we enter this break. Next up we got the Pelicans on Friday. Good team, sneaky team, and we cannot take them lightly. You know what I mean? We can't take anybody lightly. I mean, lightly. Like, I don't think there's a single team in here that you're in the league that you're just guaranteed to beat. I think there's too much parity for that. Even the Washington Wizards, they have a group of young guys that are young, spry. I don't know. I feel like the Jazz taught us everything. That if we think that we have an automatic one up or an automatic win, that can completely be changed for the worse. So Pelicans are kind of in that group where people don't really expect them to make any noise come playoff time, but they're still a team that can beat you if you don't put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? They still have Zion Williamson, who is, and still, in my opinion, a generational talent. They still have Jordan Poole. Well, I say still have. They now have Jordan Poole, who can run an offense and can also add a spark off the bench. They have a lot of glue guys, a lot of good defensive guys that can lock you up, but can also shoot the 3 ball. They have a lot of guys that can really just, make an impact on the floor and will really shut you down if you let them have a chance to. And we can't. So let's regroup. Let's rest. Come back ready. We'll cover all of that in the next episode. Hopefully Bradley Beal is playing. Hopefully I'll have an update on that by the next episode. But for now, that is going to do it. I hope that you all enjoyed. Leave your thoughts on this game. Were there any positives that you saw out of this game, or were they mostly negatives? What are your takeaways? Just leave your thoughts and opinions below. I hope that you guys enjoyed as much as you could. Be sure to leave that like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Like I said at the beginning, it would be greatly appreciated. But I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay easy. Shoot, I forgot my line. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy, and always keep it capital P. Clip gang or don't bang. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.